Good morning, morning. Now this is a early, wonderful morning. Welcome to Kochowidi, Charles Omola here, and taking early morning walk. And as I'm walking, a few thoughts come through the mind, and I just want to share. Now, on the topic of generational curse, I'm thinking about it as I'm walking, and quickly you realize that this is something that is disturbing many people. So the question I want to ask us, Paul, when he was taken, into prison, beaten, left for the death, could it have been possibly that maybe this was a punishment because of the wrongs he did, putting people into prison, taking Stephen and putting in? Literally, that is what in a normal human sense we think about and put across. I mean, at times when Christians go through problems, you're like, man, what curse of my fathers, am I going through? Or what wrong have I done? And I want you to look at the book of Job. Job says, man was born, the days of man on earth will be troubled. Man was born to pain and suffering, and pain does not stem from nowhere. It is meant for you and I. But I want you to look at Paul's perspective. Paul says a thorn was put in his flesh, and that thorn, Paul says, it was there for a main reason. Now he comes and says, this thorn was put in my flesh. The challenges I go through, the prison, the imprisonment, the beatings, the suffering, shipwreck. But he says all these things were put to me, unto me, so that I can get closer to God. For when he asked God to remove all those from him, what does God say? My strength is made perfect in weakness. Your strength will be made perfect in weakness. For when you're weak, when Paul says, when I'm weak, then I'm strong. Why? Because his challenges, he realized, took him close to God, I'm actually at a very wonderful waterfall right in Hembu. I came over to visit my in-laws. And I've been thinking, my father-in-law has been sick for a while and is bedridden. And you think, what could be happening? Apart from that, I've had 2 other meetings with the 2 different people who are going through so much pain. And these pains are beginning to make them to doubt God, though they are committed people. But literally, I think through, I'm like, man, they say if God is God, then why am I going through this? I've been praying, I've been fasting. But these pains are there for a reason, because we live in a fallen world and there's nothing much we can change about the fallen world. But what happened, for those of us who trust in God, walk with God, we have a privilege and we have an advantage. The advantage we have, that God is on our side, And so these things happen so that we might rely on God. The harder, the more difficult the challenge, the more health challenges issue, they come into our life. They are there for a purpose to help us to run back to God. For the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The psalmist say, even though I walk through the valley and shadow of death, he knows very well Lord is right there with him to take care of him. And so let's not give up, let's not blame our present circumstances, situations on some generational curse kind of thing. No, the past is gone, the present is new. But how do we handle that? We must fight this battle with a lot of prayer and depending and relying on God. I sign out. This is Coach Owede, Charles Omolo. I hope this just helped to enlighten. I do a lot of thinking as I walk, a lot of thinking. God bless you. I hope this nourishes your soul and your heart.